All right, everyone. I got a special guest on for you today, my man Snow Rock. I'm letting him introduce himself, man. He's an infamous. Well, take it away, brother.
That's the thing. I don't see myself as all that. I'm just Joey. You know what I mean? Most people know me by Snow Rock. I'm a neighborhood Crip from San Diego. I spent the majority of my adult life in prison, but now I'm out here. I'm living my best life.
Right. And for those who don't know, what's your channel, man?
Standing Tall with Snow Rock. I'm just getting started. This is something new. I'm just learning how to use the computer, so this is all new for me. Working on
it. It's time consuming, man, but eventually once you get it, it flows, But basically, man, I just wanted to get you on to let people know what it's like from your perspective, right? And how it was growing up, but also, showing people if they want to go down this road, what they're probably going to have to go through,
Yeah. Yeah.
And not everyone's fucking built for it,
It ain't easy being cheesy.
All right, man. So you grew up in Dago, right?
Southeast.
And so talk me through, man, growing up in the hood. What was it like for you?
I got picked on all the time. You think about it. I heard it's like an Asian proverb or something, and it's I think it was on Bruce the what is it, the new Karate Kid movie. The nail that sticks out will get hammered.
I like
so
that.
I stuck out, because I was different. So when you're different and you're in a crowd, then you're the first one. You're the first. You're the easiest target. So when it comes to jokes, whatever, what I mean? I was the first one to get clowned, but that made me, learn how to, because I dealt with it, I had no choice. I was, life never gives you more than you can handle. I believe that. So, I had some rough times, but everything I've been through helps me to realize that I'm here for a reason, so God kept me here for something.
Yeah, no, you're here to share your message, man. And, show that you can change, but we'll get to that. So you were saying, man, you were picked on. So you were what, one of, if I remember right, one of two or three only white men in the neighborhood, right?
Well, yeah, it was like three families that I know of that was in, in the hood. And, one of them, he wasn't banging or nothing like that, but he was around. And then the other one, they didn't have no boys in that family. It was just girls. So they got along well.
Yeah. I got you on that one. The, growing up though, when was it when you first became aware that your neighborhood was a Crip neighborhood?
The street I was just talking to my homeboy the other day about this. The street I grew up on, if you go to the corner house, I lived 4 houses down from the corner in the duplex. We were in the front house. There was a house behind us. So right next door to me is Joey. They call him Little Joey, but his name is Baby Bull Capone. Next door to him next door on my other side is the homie Tone Loke and his brother Keith. They both from the hood. You go 2 doors down, you got the older homies, it was a Slaughter family, and they, they were G's from the hood, the people that I'm watching growing up on the streets playing, football in the street. And, these were the people people I grew up with. They were the big homies, but the whole street, like where we were at, we were just neighborhood. It wasn't about, going out trying to kill somebody or nothing like that. It was just, this is our neighborhood. This is where we from. So,
So growing up, right? How did the set come down from LA? Did it come from LA?
Yeah, I got the story from my big homie Donnie Ramsey. He the originator. He came down. He was from Harlem 30s, and he came down from LA. And they moved down here, they family, and they started neighborhood 40s because they were in the 40s, and that was off of 47th Street.
Okay, and so you're playing football and all that. What was it that? When was it you jumped off the porch? What age and got involved in?
Well, it's a sad story, but I think my dad kicked me off the porch. Because I was 13 years old. My dad kicked me out the house. After my dad was alcoholic. He had problems, and he went through what he went through, and he did the best he could. But I was bad. I was a bad. I was. You heard them stories about the little white kids. Well, fuck you. I was bad. I didn't listen. I didn't do what I was supposed to do. And he had enough, and he was alcoholic. So when he had enough, that's when, he would put hands on you, and he would put hands on my whole family. So by the time I was 13, I knocked Pops out. And after that, Pops put me out the house.
I mean, understandable, man, because it wasn't my dad, but it was someone else in the family who did shit like that. And I won't talk to him to this day. I put my grandma in the hospital, and, so I kind of have some experience with that, and
it's dysfunctional families. They're all over the place, you don't choose which one you come into. You just deal with it the best way you can, and that's the thing, my family, me and my sister, my dad, he put a punishment on the whole family. He didn't, but I used to blame stuff on him. I don't blame it on him no more. He did the best he could with what he was working with, because he came in with a messed up deck. His dad died when he was 3. So he didn't have a father figure to go by. And then he had all these problems in his past. So, it's up to me to do better now. So
I agree with you on that. I call that breaking the cycle. It's nothing like Nietzsche-like or anything like that, but it's up to us to stop that cycle to make it better for generations that come. But so you're in the neighborhood, man, and 13 you get kicked out. What happens? Do you go to a homie's house, or you just start running amok? Or?
Well, no, I told this story before. It was sad because I was a kid. I was 13. We had a clubhouse in the canyon. And it had, carpet on the floor and what we had, the cardboard, and had all hooked up like our little clubhouse. And man, I went up in there and I figured I'm gonna sleep in the clubhouse. Man, that was the worst thing I did, because once I got to sleep, all the crawly shit started crawling on the only warm thing in the canyon.
Oh, like roaches.
So I woke up, it was shit all over me. So that just freaked me out. I was a kid, so now I'm sitting up, like I'm didn't get no sleep that night. But you learn, I bounced from garage to garage. I ended up at my homeboy house. My homeboy was selling crack, so he was like, you can stay here, you just got to sell this for me. What? Okay.
What was because it's not lucrative anymore, and I advise people not to do shit like that. But what was it like in the crack era, man?
That's the thing. This was the 80s. This was the beginning. It was just getting cracking, and we didn't even, it was ridiculous, because when I was 13, the homie took me in, and he got me selling his shit. And then he pays me in dope. So once I can't sell mine until I sell his. But if I need something, I can get something with it. And then I sell his, and then I sell mine, and then I stash my bread. And then I keep going, selling his, and then selling mine and stashing my bread. And I'm a kid, I'm not doing nothing. I got smokers, go bring me food, or hey, I need another TV. I want a stereo. Smokers will bring you anything you want. And we had scanners, so we thought we was high tech. So by the time I was 14, I had stacked up my bread, and my homeboy was like, "Man, what you doing? You fucking your money off on these skeezers?" And I'm like, "Hell no! Look, shh." It's like, damn. So he took and put my money with his money when he doubled up, and then came back, and now I got all this dope, but now I'm selling his dope, and I don't have the opportunity to sell mine, because it's his house. I got to sell his shit first. So I'm sitting on all this product, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, he's like, look, get you another apartment. You know what I'm saying? How am I going to get an apartment, man? Shit, get that smoker to get it in his name. And then you give him the money orders to pay for the shit and then pay him off. You know what I mean? You know, he's going to sign whatever paper they need him to sign. By the time I was 14, I had my own apartment.
So, I mean, so you were, how many months was that before you got your own spot?
It was like maybe four, because it was fast. Money was, you know what I'm saying? You know, that's because it was ridiculous in the 80s. You know what I mean? You know, crack was ridiculous, you know, and it got to the point where, you know, the apartments got burnt out. You know what I mean? There's too many spots in here. And now, you know what I'm saying, ain't nobody coming up to your door when they can, you know what I'm saying, all they got to do is, you know what I'm saying, pull up to the parking lot and everybody's hanging out in the parking lot making sales. And now they running up the cars. And then when it got, see, that's when my money got slow because I can't do that. You know what I mean? You know, I'm sitting there in the hood, crackhead. They don't want to come to the white boy to buy dope. They tweaking, thinking I'm the police.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah, so you know, I had to learn to evolve. You know, so I was like, I would give people sacks. I get a homies, you know, say, here, I'm gonna give you this. It's 10 20s, $200. You bring me back $100, and we good. But I got to double up, so you know, what I mean, you know, I'm winning, and I don't have to be on the front line. But I got caught eventually, and then they gave me possession for sales because I had 2.5 ounces all chopped up, bagged up.
Oh man, was that before they had the crazy Fed laws and all that?
Yeah, I was a kid. This was all juvenile. Okay. Yeah. Like I said, I'm a kid. So, you know, I ended up, you know what I'm saying, you know, skating and ended up going to juvenile camp.
So just so I have an idea, man, how much was like a piece for that shit back then?
What do you mean?
Like an ounce?
Well, when I back then, you know what I'm saying, that's the thing, price changes so much. And back then it was depending on, you know what I mean, you know, because like, you know, I think the best I was paying was like $2.50 for an ounce. And that's getting the connect from the you know, the Pisces. Because it's a lot of Mexicans in San Diego, you know, and they got the connect. And it's the thing, a lot of people get that connect and then they rob, you know, they rob the connect. So you lost your connect now.
Mm-hmm. So what was it like, man, your first experience in juvenile camp?
Well, juvenile, my first offense was time going to juvenile hall. I was 9.
Oh, wow. Man.
Well, I shot somebody. The guy that lived 2 houses down from me, he broke my mom's jaw. So I went and got my uncle's gun and I shot him. I shot him in the leg. I wanted to kill him, but I was a little kid, you know. So I had shot him once and then I had to go back in the house and get another bullet. And you know what I'm saying? Because I know my uncle had a gun in the top closet. So when I pulled it down, the box broke. So it was 30-30, shot him in the leg. And then, you know what I'm saying, went back, got another bullet, shot his mom's car because he was crawling under that. Then my dad was there. He was getting beat up by the other brother. And then the police came and they all drew down on my dad. It was funny because, you know what I'm saying, you know, the neighbors came out. It wasn't him, it was him. And I'm 9 crying. You know.
Wow, they did you like that?
Hey, that was my first offense. Assault with a deadly weapon.
So what was that like, man, being 9 years old and juvenile? Man, you're around teenagers now and
scary.
I bet. Did they have all those rules, man? Like, you know, certain types of Jello you can't eat and all that goofy stuff?
Nah.
They didn't have those? No red Jello or anything like that?
Nah, we didn't do like that.
Okay, yeah, no, they had that.
We was trying to get extra food.
Yeah, no, they had it like that in a couple places. But so you're a white man. Was there a lot of other white kids there, or did you like? Was it segregated or what? How was it? What was the setup?
Nah, we was kids. We wasn't even thinking about that, you know. So it was, And plus they put me in with the youngest that they had, and it was still, everybody was still older than me, but I was only in there for like 3 days, and then they let me out. And then, after court, I think, they gave me probation. So,
okay. So, and then you're 13 and you go back.
well, I was in and out. 11, I robbed a house, or I got talked into climbing in the window.
Yeah.
And ended up robbing a house. I got busted for that. And then I went back to juvenile hall, stayed for a little while. That was when I was 11. And by then, I was, I'm this Crip, but I'm a little kid. I ain't been jumped in or none of that shit. It was after, after I started, selling for the homie, and now I'm in the set, everybody knew me because like I grew up with everybody, So a lot of the people grew up fighting me. If you were in my age group, because everybody, had a turn at picking on the white boy. And back in the day, I used to let people win just so they wouldn't mess with me no more. It got to a point where I got tired of getting my ass whooped. I got tired of getting pushed around, picked on.
Yeah. No, I understand, man. And being bullied, though, let people win. Did they kind of misunderestimate you or underestimate you going forward from that?
Well, no, because see, that's the thing. I always had problems with people because I'm not little.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm 13 years old fighting grown men, and I'm not winning all the time.
Yeah.
I win, I don't lose, I don't give up, but I don't win all the time.
Yeah. None of us do.
So it was certain, it was one of my homies. He gave me the blues because, I something happened and he tried to show off, and I made him look bad. So after that, he made it a priority. But after, I used to hate him. I used to hate him. He gave me the blues growing up. But it got to a point where, a lot of the stuff that I went through as a kid growing up in the hood helped me survive all the shit I had to deal with in prison. Because you know how it is in there with the racial situations. So I had, and I'm not coming up in here like you come up in here like you're a gang member. Oh, you used to carrying a gun. Nah, I'm used to knuckling them up. So when you get up in them cages, you ain't got your gun. That's when you got to knuckle up, and that's you do what you got to do.
And so your time as a teenager, man, you ever hit CYA?
Nah, I miss you. I went to camp twice.
Okay.
Yeah, the second time I got a lawyer. The first time I went was for the what is it? The house. Okay. When I robbed the house.
Got you. And did you get told on every time you got caught?
Well, nope. My first offense, everybody, the whole neighborhood knew what was going on. But my armed robbery, I robbed a drug dealer. The drug dealer came to court and said I stole the drugs he was selling out of his house.
I've always wondered how that works. I've heard of this happening. They don't care. They just are trying to get you.
You got to think about it. The system is set up for you to fail. It's not set up for you to win. When you go to court, the judge, the DA, and your attorney work together every day. They're buddies. And how is this guy supposed to support me? If you ain't got enough money to have a real lawyer, I feel for you because I always had to go with a public pretender, and I always got raped in the end. So, and in the armed robbery, I had to threaten my lawyer, get a gun specialist, because the drug dealer is saying we had Uzis with banana clips. Now, they're not even supposed to bring in and show the jury a gun, right? They bring and show a jury a 9mm Uzi because the guy said we had Uzis. The DA said this is a Uzi to the jury. I get a gun specialist. He's saying we had Uzis with banana clips.
They don't have banana clips.
They go into the
Yeah.
So, I had threatened a lawyer. Lawyer gets a gun specialist finally to come in and tell the whole story. Oh, it's impossible for this gun to take this. This is, I'm a specialist. Okay. So now you got him in a lie. One, right? So, okay. So they had one person that picked me out in the photo lineup. And supposedly when the crack house was being robbed, he was a crackhead coming to buy something and got caught up in the robbery. So he said he picked me out in the photo lineup. So he gets on the court and gets on the stand and said, "You see the man in the courtroom today?" He said, "Nope." So, "Well, didn't you pick somebody out in the photo lineup?" "Yep." "Who was that?" "The guy the police told me to pick."
Line number 2.
I should have went home then.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing linking a white boy to this case because in the robbery, 3 black guys with ski masks came in and robbed them. So there's nothing linking me to this. No, in the end, the drug dealer, his girlfriend lived with him. She said she's on crystal and crack 10, 20 minutes before the robbery. She had smoked some crystal and some crack. You don't remember shit. But she gets on the stand, and now in the police report, in the preliminary report, in the everything, she said 3 black guys came in with ski masks and Uzis. Now they get her on the stand, and now they have nothing linking a white boy to this case because the only dude that picked me out said it wasn't me. So they got to put me at the scene of the crime. So then they asked her, like, who was the first person that came in? That was a black guy with a ski mask. Who was the second person that came in? That was a black guy with a ski mask. Who was the third person? That was a black guy with a ski mask. Who was the fourth person? Oh, that was the white guy.
Oh, come on.
So, the system, they knew what they had to do to get a conviction. The DA in my case was, I don't know if he's still the DA, but he was the DA, district attorney for all of San Diego. So he's been moving up. That was years ago. You know what I mean? I'm not claiming that, but it's like, damn, he just watched. He don't give a damn. You know what I mean? Fairness, truth, justice. You know what I mean? I don't know how the law works. You send me up in there. That's like me putting somebody up in the ring with Mike Tyson that just got out of elementary school.
Yeah, it's not fair.
It's not fair.
Yeah. And they only care about their careers, man, unless
another thing I see, there was another situation that I literally know about is the San Diego police. This dude, this cop, he was dirty. He was doing dirty shit. I got beat up by him one time. But the dude's name was Crosby. He ended up getting getting in so much trouble, they had to let him go. But they ended up just making him the district attorney's investigator. So now he fucked up so much as a police, they have to get him off the force. So they get him off the force and they put him in the DA's office to come out and do the same shit he was doing, with a different badge and a raise.
A raise, and it's sanctioned now. Now you got the DA behind you. Oh, man. So you're going through all this, right? What was it that got you sent to your first term?
Armed robbery. I robbed a drug dealer.
Oh, that one? It was that one that got you your first term?
Yeah, so that was my first offense. And that's the thing. I was 19. I got out of juvenile campo the second time. I was 17. I was about to turn 18. I was like 2 months, and then I turned 18. I just left San Diego. My uncle, he lived up in the San Fernando Valley. He's like, look, I'll bring you up here, give you a job in an apartment. So he got me a job in an apartment. And that went, and it went, but it was slow money. And I was young and I wanted a lot. You know what I mean? I just wanted a lot, going to work, I would pay my bills and everything. And I have like $50 a week left over after I done paid everything. I ain't got no car, so I'm using my uncle. My uncle got a 1969 Ford LTD Country Squire station wagon. Canary yellow, looking like a big ass banana. Hey, I swear, you know what I mean? You know, I think I'm cool, you know what I mean? You know, I pull up on a bride at the bus stop. She's at the bus stop. Asked her if she wanted a ride, and she told me to make like a banana and split.
Oh man.
I'm like, bitch, you riding the bus.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
Oh man,
but
that's
nah,
great.
you know what I'm saying? You know, so yeah, I mean, you know, I wanted more. I had to go, you know what I'm saying, you know, do some dirt and, you know what I'm saying, legal business and get what I wanted, you know. And that didn't last long because now, you know what I'm saying, you know, time to go back home.
Mm-hmm. So, what was it that got you sent to CDC?
That was the armed robbery.
Where'd they send you?
Donovan, my first reception when I first went to Donovan. Yeah. But that wasn't my first. When I first went to county jail for the armed robbery, the first day in county jail, you know, this is old county. They had a little underground port where you come in and then they check you out, make sure you ain't got nothing. And then they put a wristband on you. You're a blue, you're a felony, or orange, you're a misdemeanor. It's the drunk tank. So when they first put you in there, you know, they took my clothes, you know what I'm saying? You know, they gaffled me and my homeboy up. We was fisting to go do another robbery, but we didn't pick up none of the hardware yet. But we was getting ready to go do this lick we had already had planned. And then we was at his house and the police raided and got all of us because we was sitting outside when they raided his house. So they get us, they take us, okay, we're under arrest. They sit us in the, you know what I'm saying, in the back room, you know what I'm saying, trying, okay, look, you know what I'm saying, you want to talk? Ooh, after about 3 hours of sitting, man, where my lawyer at? I ain't got nothing to say. Where my lawyer at? You know what I mean? You know, I know to get down. So, you know what I mean, afterwards, they sit us in there we don't get to the tank until like 1 in the morning. So this is when all the drunks, you know, it's a bunch of drunks. And in the drunk tank, they took our clothes, so I got a white paper suit. It's me and one of my homeboy D Perk. So he got a paper suit, I got a paper suit. I'm about 180, you know. I'm 6'3" though, you know. So I'm tall, I'm kind of slim. And I got long hair with the curls, you know. Think I'm, you know what I'm saying, you know.
Rico
Man,
Suave.
a dude in the tank, a black dude, he's like, hey, you in for murder, huh? I just put my head down. I don't want to talk to nobody right now. I'm sick. You know, I'm like, man, locked up. I ain't never been to county jail, so I'm scared. This is new. Then the dude says, oh, you a tough guy, huh? I like making tough guys my bitch. I'm going to make you my bitch. And he got another dude laughing and giggling with him. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm scared. I'm like, man, you know what I'm saying? You know, they put the band on me. They fisting to open this door. So I'm just, you know what I'm saying? I'm not thinking about nothing. But as soon as they open up the door, I'm coming in swinging. Man, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how it happened. I just, like, when they open up the door, I said, step inside. I just charged the dude and bing, bing, bing. You know, I don't know how it went, but I didn't get hit in the face, right? And now he got me up against the bars and I got him in a headlock. And the police are in the tank trying to get him, you know what I'm saying? You know, and I got my hand up. Hey, man, you know what I'm saying? Let him go. And I'm holding him. If I let him go, I'm up against the bars. I can't duck. So he going to get one. So I'm like, he won't let go. But I got him locked in. And the police like, let him go. I'm like, he won't let go. So they pull him. When they pull him, I let him go. So then they gaffle me up and they take me, cuff me up, put me out on a bench outside. My white paper suit, the whole leg is bloody. I'm like, oh shit. So I look at my hands and I got some blood on my hands. So I'm wiping my hands and I ain't got no cuts. And I check, am I bleeding? I look, and then I look up across to where they got him chained up on the bench. Oh, it's over with. Dude had 6 stitches over one eye, 4 stitches under the other eye, and a broken nose, bleeding from all of them. And then he's over there. He was one of the drunks. He sucker punched me. And I'm like, I sucker punched me. Do you remember what you said you was going to do?
Yeah. That's usually how it goes, man. All of a sudden they're the victim.
Yeah.
You know. So the county jail, right? Is this the first time it's your first time? Is when you first come across, like, is it a political county jail? Is it?
Well, yeah, here this is grown, you know what I'm saying? This is grown folks. This ain't juvenile hall no more. But even in juvenile hall, I had a reputation. You know, I had in Campo, I had coaches, staff, they made a nickname for me. They called me wannabe C down.
Mm.
And it was, you know what I'm saying, it was a joke, but you know what I'm saying, C down, okay, I'm with that. You know what I mean? You know, so I just played along with it. Because, you know what I mean, you know, I can benefit from this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm a manipulator. So, but yeah, you know what I mean? It's I think about it because there was a staff member at Campo when I was at Campo, and he used to make me do reports on the Black Panthers. He used to make me, he was my counselor. So, oh, you think you're black, you want to be black, you pretend to be black. And people have done that and said that about me all my life. And it's like, I don't pretend to be black. I don't want to be black. I don't think I'm black. This is just who I am. And I'm cool with who I am. And anybody that's not, you can give me 5 feet. I don't have a problem with it. I'm going to do me wherever I'm at.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. And when I went to prison, you know, I had one of my big homies tell me when I was in county jail before I went, I'm waiting to go. I got my bus ticket and I'm waiting to go to prison. And he's like, man, look, when you get over there, just go over there, go with the white boys and tell them you don't bang and just do your time and get out, homie. I'm like, man, fuck that, homie. You think I'm a punk? Fuck that, man. You think I'm a punk? I got mad at my homeboy because of that. You know what I mean? I'm like, you think, but he was thinking about what's best for me. These motherfuckers is trying to kill me. I don't know, you know, I'm a kid. You know what I mean? You know, I'm a knucklehead. So my thing was I'm not fixing to change just because I'm in here. You know, and it was a few people like Whack, you know what I'm saying? You know, it was other ones. It's Goldie, it's a whole bunch of white Crips. So, you know what I mean? I'm not the first one, I'm not the only one, I'm not the best one, I'm just one of them. And that's a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, say I'm a legend and all this, and I don't see it. I don't. Because, you know what I'm saying, I did what I was supposed to do. The only reason I'm a legend is because most people don't.
Well, that's the thing. Like I said when we started, not everyone's cut out for that. You know, and you could have taken the easier road every time you went in, man. With the whites, you know.
Well, that's another thing I was thinking about just the other day. I was just thinking about in the past how many times the police got at me on just give me some information and we'll, you know what I'm saying, you know, we'll do this or we'll do that. Just give me something and I'll let you go. Man, you know what I mean? You know, but how many people are just giving them something?
Everyone. Just about everyone.
That's why I do what I do. I go to work. I got a job. I come home. I take care of my family. On top of that, ain't nowhere you can go anymore that's not on camera.
Or someone doing this. So they either got it up there, they got it there, they got it on. It's crazy what it's no longer. Yeah. Well,
Hey, that one scared the mess out of me because I had a road rage. Some truck cut me off and I was mad, and we're in, you know what I'm saying, you know, just parked traffic. And so when the dude cut me off, it pissed me off, and I'm like, I could just get out of here, go over there and just sock the shit out of this dude. But then everybody's gonna have their camera on, and then he gonna be asleep. I ain't gonna be able to drive past him.
See, but you're thinking, you're playing the tape through, you know. So that's
you gotta think, you know. No, because my mind, because of the way I came up, and everything is always the wrong way. It's all I have to rethink things a couple times because if I don't, you know what I mean, I jump to the wrong, you know what I'm saying, you know, because it's been my life. You know what I mean?
Just what you know, since a little kid, you've been fighting, and you know, we revert to what we know and what we're comfortable with, you know, as we, you know, even as we age and all that, but you're playing the tape all the way through. So, but, what was it like, man, when was the first time you had a level 3?
That's the thing. I started out level 1. I went from Donovan reception, got into fights, and went back to the little reception building where you don't get to do nothing until the bus came for me to leave. Like, no, he gonna keep getting in this shit. Put him over there. So then I went from there to Jamestown, level 1. Got the, you know what I'm saying? There was some bullshit. You know what I mean? The whites dropped kites and told the police that they were gonna stab me. So because of that, at the time, their rules are, if they have threats like that, they have to move you off the yard for your own security, for their policy. I don't want to move. You know what I'm saying? Leave me here. Let them come. You know, I expect this. Come on, bring it and let me deal with it. No, you know what I mean? You know, so they put me in the hole. I got into the hole now. I'm a Crip my first time. I don't know what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in the cell with a Crip from LA. And I guess the dude, you know what I'm saying, you know, well, this was my first time. So I was in reception, you know, and you don't get to go to the canteen or really spend money because I kept getting in trouble and I was in the hole. So they sent me here and I hadn't been able to go to canteen or anything. So I got a few people sending me some money, you know what I mean? You know, so I go to the canteen for the first time in the hole. So I got 3 cans of tobacco, but they dump it all into a paper bag. It's going to be dry and fucked up. I don't give a damn. I'm going to smoke, you know, but you could still smoke back then. And so I got a bunch of zooms and wham-whams, cookies, you know, the little bitty stuff that you can have in the hole. It's not a lot of stuff. But my cellie, he had been, you know what I'm saying, giving me some stuff when I first got there, you know, because I'm a cellie. So, hey, man, whatever, you know what I mean? You know, he's like, oh, man, you know what I'm saying? You know, he just starts taking stuff out of my locker and putting it in his locker. And I'm like, man, you know what I'm saying? You know what you doing? He's like, oh, I'm taking this. And he ain't even paying me no attention. Like, I'm just supposed to accept this. And I just dove on him, you know, because I grew up with people taking shit from me. People stopped taking shit from me a long time ago. Yeah. He just didn't know.
Yeah.
And he found out. But that was a bad situation because it was my first time in the hole. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And now my cellie is under the desk. He's bleeding. My leg is bleeding because I kicked the stool trying to kick him. But he's under there. As long as he's under there, I'm good. You know, but you try and get up out of there. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm going to dive on your head again. Now the police are at the door and the alarm's going off and more police are coming. And now, you know what I'm saying, there's a whole bunch of them. And then they opened up the door, but they got a whole bunch of cops holding like a plexiglass plastic piece in front of the door. And I'm like, what the fuck? I don't know, because they're telling me to cuff up. But if I cuff up, he's coming out from up under that desk. I'm not, fuck that. And they're telling me to let him cuff up. So when he went out to cuff up, when he started out back on his head again, you know what I mean? You can't come up out from up under there, you know, fuck that. So it went back to the police. And now I'm watching them, watching him and watching them. And I turn to watch him and them motherfuckers hit me with that taser, that motherfucker shock,
the prongs, the 2 prong ones.
Yeah. That motherfucker shot me in the neck. I woke up outside, you know what I'm saying, you know, hog-tied.
Oh, man.
So, yeah. But that was level 1. I went from there. Now, you know what I'm saying, you know, I got in trouble. I got extra points for that. Now I went from there to level 2. And then they sent me to Chino. As soon as I got off the bus, Chino, I was in the fight with one of the white boys that was in the hole that came from Jamestown. So as soon as you get there, get him. Okay, so he, you know what I'm saying, you know, I'm over here with the Crips, you know what I mean, you know, shooting the shit, you know what I mean? He's like, piece of shit. What? What'd he say? You know what I mean? You know, yeah, you. When I look, what, me? And he's like, yeah, you. Hey, man, if you got a problem, we can take it in the bathroom. It's a little bathroom in this holding tank. We go up in there. And, you know what I'm saying, you know, we getting down now. We just toe-to-toe, just shooting them, you know what I mean? You know, bing, bing, bing. And I'm dazed, you know what I mean? You know, we fighting. We grown man fighting. This ain't, you know what I'm saying, you know. And then all of a sudden, it's like, hold on, what happened? Ain't nobody there no more. I look around because I'm a little dazed and I'm shaking it off. And this fool is knocked out. And then, you know what I'm saying, oh, my head gets big. So I come out the bathroom. Who's next? Who's next? You know what I mean? You know, because now adrenaline pumping.
Mm-hmm.
So now all the noise, police come. Police, you know what I'm saying, tell everybody to hold the noise down. So I go over there with the brothers. Oh man, yeah. We joking and clowning. Some MTA comes by with a guy in a wheelchair. She looks at the bathroom and she sees the bottom of somebody's feet.
Oh man, the Wizard of Oz.
So she pushes the button. They come up in here. My hands are all marked up. I got a, cool ooey knot over my eye. You can tell I've been, tussling, got some little scratches or whatever. So they gaffle me up and then they pull my file and they're like, oh, he's a white Crip. Look, get him on the next bus out of here. I want him out of here. Get him out of here. And look, there was like, they put me in a little, they called it deep seg. It was Cypress third tier. And it was the part of the hole. And I was up in there, man. And that was the nastiest place. They had a motherfucker walking a rat on the leash down the tier. I'm like, man, this shit is crazy.
What they used to call him, Freeway
Freeway
Freddy. Freeway Freddy, yeah.
Freeway Freddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. But see, man, you're in the Chino. I've heard is pretty gross, man. One of those older places like Quentin but so you're there in Chino. They're kicking you out again. Where are they sending you now?
Chuckawalla.
And that's level 2 or level 3?
Still level 2.
Level 2.
Because I was level 1 and now I'm level 2. So now I'm at Chuckawalla. I was there. I was on one yard for like 4 or 5 months. Then they moved me to the other yard. No, I was there for like 2 months because it's the orientation yard. And then they moved me there, and then they moved me over into vocational dry cleaning. And that's on a different yard. That's on the A yard. So I was there. I was on the A yard, and then some shit happened. It was some bullshit, but it was basically politics. Some Compton Crips didn't like, San Diego, and it was some shit set up, and I bit into it, and I ended up getting into a fight with a Compton Blood, and then getting jumped by 3 Compton Crips.
Damn.
But yeah, after that, they sent me to the other yard. They sent me to the D yard. When I got there, I'm like, look, man, give me a knife. I'm not, I'm not getting jumped no more. Give me a knife. Because it's level 2, this is, still minimum security. And it ain't, all like that. It ain't that bad. But, I'm telling my homeboys, look, give me a knife, man. Fuck that, So the homie, gave me a knife. And the next day, the police came and searched me and found it.
Yeah, gee, I wonder how they found out the next day,
People want to go home, I don't know who it was, but I was young and dumb and didn't know nothing, But from there, I went from there to Corcoran. And if you know anything about Corcoran in the 90s, Corcoran was ugly.
Yeah, I mean, they had the who was that? Rodriguez in the shoe shooting motherfuckers, and and then it was cracking on the yard.
You talking about him shooting people? When I got there, he was a lieutenant.
Wow.
F.A. Rodriguez, he was a lieutenant when I got there, and I got into it with a cop. Cop gave me a one-on-one, and we went up in the cell. He came up in my cell, and we got down. And then, I ended up, getting him in a sleeper hold. He tapped out. I let him go. I'm not going to kill him. Mm-hmm. So I let him go. He'd leave up out the cell. The next day, it's like, I don't know how many it was. They didn't have lights on. They didn't have nothing. I'm in the shoe. That door don't open unless I'm cuffed up, right?
Nope.
The door opened up. 5 motherfuckers came in. Them motherfuckers beat the shit out of me. I ain't never been beat like that before in my life.
Oh, is that the one where they stomped on you and you were like piss and blood and all that?
Yeah,
man. They were dirty in the shoe, man. They weren't.
But after that, like a couple weeks later, because they don't let you see medical or nothing like that, because then they have proof that there's some injuries or something, no reports. So they don't let none of that happen. So later on down the line, they call me into the office, and it was F.A. Rodriguez. He was lieutenant. And he was like, so I heard you got into it with one of my officers. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, you didn't get into it with such and such? I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, so tell me about this. Did some of my officers come and pay you a little visit? I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? I don't know what you're talking about. Look, whatever it is, I don't know nothing. I don't want no problems. I'll be good. Look, after that whooping, homie, look, I'm sorry. I want to go home. I've heard the stories about Corcoran. But when I got here, right after I got here, they gave me my lesson. You know, I can't speak for nobody else, but I'm sorry. They beat the shit out of me. Yeah.
When was that? He was still there. So what was that, 93?
Yeah, I paroled in 94. I was there. I got there in 92. I got there in 92 and I paroled in 94.
What was it that got you sent into the shoot?
The knife from Chuck Waller.
So they gave you, what, 18 months for that or something? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you parole, man. How long are you out in the street?
7 months.
7 months? Okay.
7 months. I ended up going to Tijuana. Everybody knows, you know, you go down to TJ. So one of my homeboys, I don't even drink or nothing like that, you know what I'm saying? But the homie wanted to go down to Club XS. And if anybody knows about, you know what I'm saying, Tijuana in the 90s, Club XS was cracking. So it was what? I think it was summertime. It had to be summertime because we had walked over there and we was walking back, and then I ended up, you know, getting into a fight with some Navy guys, and that's when they charged me for a fist fight, assault with a deadly weapon for a fist fight. And I ended up, the gang prosecutor wanted me to tell on my homeboys. I told him to kiss my ass. He told me he was gonna hang me out to dry. Only deal they offered me was 11 with 80. Because it's 94, 3 strikes law is brand new. This is my second strike, so they're doubling everything up. So I'm not taking no 11-year deal. Fuck that. That's not no deal. They're like, well, give me some information, man. Fuck you. You know what I mean? You know, so it's like, if you don't help me, I'm going to hang you out to dry. Hang these nuts. You know, I was young. I'm talking shit. But, you know what I'm saying? They hung them motherfuckers out to dry, you know, because I ended up getting, the deal was 11. I ended up getting found guilty at trial, and they charged me with assault with a deadly weapon for a fist fight. Now, military, they're all trained hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah.
I ain't got none of that shit. I grew up, you know how I grew up. But, you know what I'm saying, you know, I ain't got no training or nothing. But they charged me with assault with a deadly weapon, and then they give me, the deal was 11. I lose trial, and the judge gave me 9. That's less than the deal.
Yeah.
You know, so I went to prison and then I put in an appeal because I'm still 9 years is too much for a fist fight. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, I broke a dude's jaw, but that's still too much for a fist fight. So I put in an appeal and they gave me 5 more years. They sent me a piece of paper in the mail. You got 5 more years.
So 14?
My 9 turned to 14. So I ended up doing, you know what I'm saying, you know, 12 years, 7 months. All together.
Man. And what was that? So they send you back. Where did they send you?
That's the thing. I went back to Donovan reception. And then from there, you know, I'm level 4. So when I went to level 4, it was Lancaster. And then I ended up, I was in Lancaster for almost 4 years. And then, you know, after all the shit, you know what I mean? You know, I still had level 4 points, but they still sent me to Donovan on an underride. Because look, my thing is, I don't cause no problems, but I don't run from none either. In prison, you're allowed to defend yourself. So, you know what I mean? You know, look, if somebody run up on me, and it was so many times that I initiated and took off on, you know, one of the you know what I'm saying, you know, dude who's the shot caller or the, you know what I'm saying, lieutenant, or I'm not going after a weak link. I'm going after your upper level staff so that somebody knows you're going to leave me the fuck alone. And that's all you know what I'm saying? I remember the first time I met this other white Crip when I was in Donovan. This was at the end of my time. But I told him, I'm like, man, look, you know what I'm saying, motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying, get at you, look at you, say anything, you know what I'm saying, just get off. Keep getting off until they leave you alone. That's the only thing I can tell somebody because that's what I had to do. And my situation was, you know, if I think the whites are going to do something to me, I'm coming for somebody. I'm coming for somebody with rank. you know, so that the next guy thinks twice before he tells somebody, you know, because the weak links are the ones you got to worry about. You know, it's a lot of people on drugs. Drugs control everything. You think the gangs? Nah, it's the drugs.
Yeah.
Because you can pull strings from a long way with a sack.
Well, or if you give the right person that sack, you know, it's I've heard some stories about that, which is I was kind of shocked. Who gave you the hardest time, man? Skins or NLR?
NLRs.
NLRs.
I think the Skins were leaving me alone because the NLR were looking so bad. Because at the time, the NLRs and the Skins had their internal issues. And during this time, I just hit Lancaster, and I'm one-on-one, anybody, bring it, you know. And the first one they sent was a fucking giant, this motherfucking oak tree. This motherfucker's a damn giant, you know. But, you know what I'm saying, you know, he's slow. He didn't want it. You know what I mean? You know, everybody ain't built the same. Just because somebody's big don't mean they can fight. Just because, you know, it's a lot, you know, shit. Because
I know what you're talking about. Some of the hardest fights I ever had, I'm 6'5", right? I've had motherfuckers 5'6" give me harder fights than 6'3", 6'4", man. Plus, it's harder to get them when you're going down and they get your waist and shit. Yeah. But you ain't wrong about that one, man. But so you're dealing with all that. So you got all that time. You're hitting Lancaster. You ever hit a 180 or anything like that? Did you do any more shoe terms on that 14 years?
Nah, I went to Donovan and I did another shoe term, but that was after the riot when I left Donovan because I got into another riot at CRC.
Oh, is that San Luis Obispo or where is that? Okay,
yeah.
California Men's Colony or whatever.
Yeah.
And dude, they just flipped that to like a level 3. They brought some anyway. What was it when you were there?
It was level 3.
Okay, what was it? It's like CMC West was good and CMC East wasn't, or something.
Well, that's the thing. CMC East, they told me, you know what I'm saying, it's going bad at this time, and I didn't, you know what I'm saying, when I was in Donovan, and they didn't want me to stay after the riot in Donovan because it was a big old riot. Mm-hmm. So they didn't want me to stay. They wanted me out of there. So they told me I was endorsed to catch a bus in the next 2 days to CMC. So I went out on the yard and I fired on this dude, you know what I mean? And it's on camera. The dude told on me and everything. So, you know what I mean? Because he was talking shit, cell soldiering, thinking, you know what I'm saying, you know, oh, he's going to be gone, you know what I'm saying? Then he came out the yard, and it was my yard too, and I came out there after him. They let me in, and he didn't say nothing. Yeah, I let him walk around, pretend like everything was okay, and then wasn't nobody paying attention. I clipped him, and he ran over there, hey. And I went right back to what I was doing like nothing happened. And they're like, what are you talking about? He hit me. Mm-hmm. I'm like, what? You know, I'm way over here. But they got a camera.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, so once they go look at the camera, you think you slick, you know. And they're like, I'm like, oh, well, I guess you can't transfer me, huh? Because I got a 115. You can't transfer me now. And they're like, oh, yeah, you know what? Shh. We're going to make sure you catch that bus tomorrow.
Oh, shit.
So, yeah, I went up there for a little while, but it was some bullshit. I ended up getting into a riot with the Bloods as soon as I got there over some bullshit, you know.
So you get in that riot, and this is what, towards the end of your 14?
Yeah, this is like 05.
05. And when, were you starting to notice things getting more watered down around this time?
It was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 2 white Crips on the San Luis Obispo yard when I got there. One was from Seaside, and I don't remember the other one, you know.
Seaside and Dago or Monterey?
Monterey.
Oh, yeah. Shit.
That's what I said. That's what I said. I didn't know we were up there, but you know what I'm saying? We're everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't knock nobody. I mean, because I don't know what you had to go through or what you went through or, you know what I mean, you know. So
yeah, absolutely, man. And when was it that you ended up paroling for? And this was your last time, right? Your last.
Yeah. This was the one when I did the 12 years. 12 years straight for the fist fight. Yeah, so I did 12 and then ended up going back for DV. And then they was trying to give me 25 to life for that.
Like third strikes type shit, or?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I ended up taking a deal and getting screwed by the judge. He gave me the most he could give me.
What did he give you?
So, but I didn't pay attention. You know what I mean? He was a hater. He gave me 8 with 80.
Oh, shit. So what year was this?
This was 11.
2011?
Yeah.
So you go back, right? Shit, that was right around the hunger strikes. Were you guys a part of that?
Nah, it had just started right before I paroled. I was in CRC, Hotel California.
Mm-hmm.
Now that place was crazy because that place is old as dirt. I don't understand how half of it is still standing. And then they say the other half is made of asbestos.
It probably is.
It's old as dirt and it's falling apart.
So, did you say when you came back, the hunger strikes are going, what, 2011, 12? That was when they were doing the lawsuit. I was always curious, who all had to participate in that? I know the whites did. I know the Mexicans did. On the black side, was it like a mandatory thing or was it optional?
That's the thing. It wasn't mandatory. There's no there ain't no structure. Most people do what they want to do or do what, you know what I'm saying, is best for them. Ain't no structure. The blacks, you know what I'm saying, be running around. It's too many groups for one to be able to tell another one, you know, so it's too much conflict, too much bullshit. So, you know what I'm saying, people that chose to did, people that chose not to, you know what I mean?
Okay.
It was just, you know. But that's like they say, you know, I know how they say, I've heard a lot of people say that the blacks don't check paperwork.
Oh.
But that goes for whatever organization you're with. You know what I mean? You know, because I'm a Crip and I know, you know what I'm saying, you know, where I was at, and it was places, you know what I'm saying, you know, when we hit the yard, you know what I'm saying, you got to show everything, you know what I'm saying, you know, let a motherfucker know what we working with. Because if don't nobody know you, your paper going to speak for itself.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I know for sure Sacramento Bloods do. I know a lot of Crip cars do. You know who they never talk about checking paperwork? It's fucking Pisces. Sometimes they don't check paperwork, man.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they don't.
Yeah, I mean,
because that's like, I know they had the other car. You know how they had others.
Yeah,
and then it'll be a Colombian or somebody from, you know what I'm saying. You know, I'm a Russian. I'm a other. You know, wherever I'm a other. You know, so I've seen people. You know what I'm saying. You know.
Was this the time you're back in 2011? Were they starting the 50-50 yards in the?
That's the thing. They were just starting to make that shit mandatory. And then that's right when I left. It was like, man, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how that shit works, but you know what I'm saying? They were forcing people and, oh, you have to go here. And, you know, it's 50-50. And then I heard they closed down CRC. They shut it down. But then I drove by there.
Yeah.
They drove by there and there's still inmates in there. It's still, you know what I'm saying, it's still going. And those must be the SNYs.
But I think that also might have closed it down state, but they probably opened it up privately. Maybe. Not sure. They shut down Tracy.
I don't know, because I know a lot about that prison, because that's the song Hotel California.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
So that song is all in there, and it talks about how the mission bell on that song, there was a mission that got put inside the fence of the prison, and that's where the inmates go to church at the old mission.
Oh.
And it's inside of the prison wall now, but part of the facility, because originally it was owned by Al Capone. Didn't know that, huh?
No.
It was the Vegas of the Roaring 20s. In the Roaring 20s, the Hollywood and all that, when they wanted to get away and go somewhere, that Hotel California, that was the spot. That was like the Vegas for them, the Palm Springs, the get away not too far, but you know what I'm saying, get away and have a ball. They had the ballroom. That place was decked out. And the real story, Al Capone lost it when he got caught up for tax evasion.
Yeah.
So they took the property from him. That was in the 30s, in the late 30s, right? Well, now the government has it, and here it is, the 40s. This is when Pearl Harbor and all this happened. So, you know what I'm saying? You have all these injured Navy personnel. It became a military hospital. And when it became a hospital, they expanded and, you know, added on a lot of the shit that's where the inmates are at now.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was the hospital back then in the 40s. After the 40s, it wasn't being used. So then in 69, they made part of it a prison. Part of it is still owned by the Navy, and I think somebody else has another part. But it's a big old facility up there. They had a man-made lake. It's a ballroom, and then the balcony of the ballroom is the lake. So that during Prohibition, if they come, dump it in the lake. You know what I mean? And you don't get caught.
Get rid of it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that was the setup, and this place was, you know, big back then, and now it's a lot of it is still there, but it's all falling apart. I learned about it. I seen a show on, what was it called, California's Gold, and they did a show about it, and I was like, wow.
Yeah, I knew it was a military place. I had no clue Capone owned it or is the song. There's a lot of people who say Hotel California is about this, and that, but that makes even more sense, especially when you talk about the Mission Bell. Yeah. But so what's Snow Rock doing today, man?
Man, look, I got a job. Right now I'm healing up. I had my shoulder surgery, so I'm still healing up for that. I'm about to start my physical therapy. So I've been laying up, relaxing.
Yeah.
Because usually I'm out in the heat and it's summertime. So you know what I'm saying, you know, have my surgery at the right time.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
But yeah, you know what I'm saying, you know, life is good, no complaints. You know what I'm saying? You know, I've been out longer than I've been out since I was 9 years old. It's only 7 years, but this is a long time for me.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've been married 5 years. Me and my wife been together almost, 16?
Nice.
But we've been married for 5.
Yeah.
And, you know what I'm saying? You know, she's the one holding me down. And because I have issues, you know what I mean? I have issues, you know what I mean? You know, when I first got out, I was having panic attacks, you know, because I was in a sober living program and I didn't have no place to go after I did the 12 years. You know, I paroled from the ad seg in Soledad and I didn't have no place to go, didn't know what to do. And I wanted to change. I wanted to, you know what I'm saying, do something different. I'm tired of, you know, going back to this box, had no family left in San Diego. So I got into this program. And I got myself together, you know what I mean? I got this job, best job I ever had. And then they were, you know what I'm saying, teaching me, you know, and then, you know, they see, oh, okay, because when I got out, my mentality was, you going to pay me dollars? I'll work for dollars. I've been in here working for pennies. You going to pay me dollars?
Mm-hmm.
So I jumped on that. And, you know what I'm saying, you know, the company seen I was willing to learn. And they knew, you know what I'm saying, you know, because they knew I was in a drug program, knew I was on parole, knew my situation. I remember my first year, the big dog, he was doing my annual review. And I'm like, man, I appreciate you guys taking a chance on me. He's like, man, look, everybody here is on a second, third, or fourth chance. That's what this company is about. All you got to do, you know what I'm saying, is do your part, you know what I'm saying, you know, and we got you. And they, you know what I'm saying, you know, hey, I love this company. They done a lot for me, you know.
Good, man. I'm glad to hear it. So, again, shout out your channel, brother.
Oh, yeah. See, I keep forgetting about that. I'm still learning all this stuff. So Standing Tall with Snow Rock. Standing Tall with Snow Rock. I try and go live on Fridays. Every Friday, usually, you know what I'm saying, somewhere between 5, you know what I'm saying, you know, and 7 p.m. So catch me in the evening on a Friday and catch me live.
Yes, sir. And for those who want to know more in details about the riots he talks about and situations he's been in, he goes into detail on his channel. I want to make sure they know that. And I'll tag your channel too, so they just got to click a link. And yeah, man, I want to appreciate you. Thank you, Joey, for your time. Thank you for sharing your story and showing people out there is, you know, hope and you can change.
Hey, it's always hope.